Mr. Ledesma. Simpleng tanong po, sa inyong pagkakaintindi po ng inyong charter, ano po ang mandato ng PhilHealth?
Financial risk protection.
So maliwanag po.
Yes po.
So hindi po kayo investment bank, kundi tayo po ay isang social health insurance program. It is not just a health insurance program, it is a social health insurance program.
Yes po. We are in the business of providing health insurance and not making money.
Hindi po ako kontento doon po sa ating pagkwenta kung magkano ba talaga ang excess funds. Kaya po nandito po kami, pasensya na po. Ayan ang dahilan po kung bakit nandito kami at pinupukpok po namin na mag-perform ang PhilHealth. Ang pinapatupad po ng PhilHealth sa ngayon ay investment program. Pasensya na po. So ganun po kalaki ang nawawala natin pera, siguro dahil anyway, nakahiga kayo sa sobrang daming pera at ini-invest ninyo sa safe instruments na dating lang ng dating ang income, kinalimutan nyo na po kumolekta sa mga mandated sectors. Pasensya na po, Mr. Ledesma, na yung sinasabi po ninyo that we will do our best. Mahirap kasing tanggapin po yung we will do our best dahil yung ating current situation na napakarami po nating pera, napunta tayo sa sitwasyon na to because, unfortunately, PhilHealth did not do its best. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Unahin ko na po si Mr. Ledesma. Simpleng tanong po, sa inyong pagkakaintindi po ng inyong charter, ano po ang mandato ng PhilHealth?
To provide, like I mentioned, yung provision po na binasa ko kanina po, that every Filipino citizen shall be automatically included in the National Health Insurance Program. So health financing po for the whole population po, regardless of status.
Health
To provide
health
health financing po to the population of the
So
country.
maliwanag, financial risk protection. Yun po ang
Yes po.
yan
Yes
ang mandato.
Financial risk
So
protection.
maliwanag po.
Yes po.
So hindi po kayo investment bank, kundi tayo po ay isang social health insurance program. It is not just a health insurance program, it is a social health insurance program.
Yes po.
Ano pong pagkakaiba nun?
So, in other words po, it's not, we are not in the business, PhilHealth is not in the business of a high net income or making a lot of money po. Unlike maybe commercial banks or corporate companies, we are in the business of providing health insurance and not making money po.
Mr. Chair, natutuwa po ako na very clear naman po sa ating PCEO ang mandato. Very clear na they're not in the business of making profits. I'm not sure if you're aware, but 5 out of 10 Filipinos die without seeing a doctor. Napakabigat po ng data na to. Ibig sabihin nun, sa bawat 10 na namamatay, kalahati, hindi man lang binibigyan ng pagkakataon na paglaban ng kanilang buhay. Ang dahilan? Pera. Diba? So they don't have enough financing. Diba po? So yun ang dahilan kung bakit wala silang access to care. Kaya po, napaka-importante ng PhilHealth. Kaya po nandito po kami, pasensya na po. Ayan ang dahilan po kung bakit nandito kami at pinupukpok po namin na mag-perform ang PhilHealth. So yun ang dahilan. Okay po. So, hindi po ako kontento doon po sa ating pagkwenta kung magkano ba talaga ang excess funds. Ayokong tawaging surplus dahil pag ginagamit niyo po ang word na surplus, nawawala tayo eh. Okay, so, sige po. Based on your financial statement, June 2024, end of June 2024, yes or no na lang po. Maliwanag, reserves to 80 billion, and I believe ito ay based on the definition na pinag-agrihan ninyo ng DOF. Tama po?
Yes po.
Okay, so 280. Mukhang nag-agree na rin kayo na yung excess reserves na ang tawag ninyo surplus ay 183 billion. Kasi kaya nangyaring ganon, previously, ang pagkwenta ninyo ng reserves ay 463, pero nung pumasok ang DOF, klinaro sa inyo na 280 lang dapat ang reserves. So 463 less 280.
So 281 po.
Yes,
Tama.
so yung Yung 463 less 280 ay 183. So yun po ay excess reserves.
Mr. Chair, yes, Your Honor.
Yes, please, Mr. Lim Siaco.
Yes, Mr. Chair, that's the excess or the surplus, Mr. Chair.
So ang tawag nyo lang doon ay surplus. Para lang tayo magkaintindihan.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Kong Stella.
But in actuality, it's excess reserves.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Kong Stella.
Because in your previous financial statements, ang tawag nyo doon ay total reserves.
Mr. Chair, yes, Kong Stella.
Okay. Magkano, Mr. Lim Siaco, ang kailangan ninyo to implement for 1 year the National Health Insurance Program for 2025?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, to respond, Mr. Chair, to Kong Stella query, the calculation of our actuary for the benefit expense intended for year 2025 ay 440 billion. Now, sa
Wait,
400...
Mr. Chair, how did you move from an average of 140 billion in the last how many years? All of a sudden, you're jumping to 445 billion. Of course, masaya kami kung yan ay kaya nyo. Pero ano ang evidence na iuuwi namin ngayong hapon, nakakayanin ninyong ipatupad ang ganyan kagandang programa? So, 445. Ngayon lang, ang computation ng DOF is 140 billion. Pero ang actual ninyo, sa pagkakaalam ko, ay 90 billion pa lang. Magkano ang actual po ninyo na benefit spending as of today?
Mr. Chair, on the computation of the 440 billion, our actuary can explain that one. But on the part of the benefit payout for year 2024, as of December 6, nasa 155.5 billion based on the cash position report. Mr. Chair.
155. How about last year?
Last year po, nasa 118 billion po, whole year. ang benefit payout natin.
118 billion
Opo.
last year, Mr. Chair. This year, tumaas to 155.
As of-
155. But for 2025, nung narinig ninyo na zero subsidy, biglang all of a sudden naging 445?
Mr. Chair, Kong Stella, our actuary, Ma'am Neri, can explain the figure.
Hindi. Ano, I mean, I want to hear it. We want to hear it from Mr. Ledesma himself, the PCEO. Siyempre, masaya kami, di ba? Kasi yan nga ang gusto natin mangyari. Pero, ano ang
Mr.
design
Chair,
ng
Mr. Chair, before I give the number, just want to reiterate, we are very aggressive with all of the
no, yes, but
with
we
all
want
of the benefit packages, with all of the increases.
Okay, but we want to know kung kaya ninyong gawin yan. Remember, capacity is the most important thing here. Ito nga ang situation eh. Ano ang dahilan kung bakit kayo nakapag-accumulate ng sobrang daming pera na naging investment bank ang PhilHealth? Sa halip na social health insurance program ang pinapatupad ng PhilHealth, ang pinapatupad po ng PhilHealth sa ngayon ay investment program. Pasensya na po. Yan ngayon eh.
So the number we're
And
looking
the
at,
reason
ma'am,
for that is because ang bagal ng benefit expansion. Napakatipid ng pagtaas ng case rates. Ang bagal-bagal ng pagbayad sa hospitals, in which case, napakalaki po ng mga pagkakautang ninyo sa hospitals. So yun po, napakadami po ng problema sa implementation. So yun ang tanong. Ano ang
so
proof
the
na kaya po natin tumalon from 155 billion in benefit spending as of today, December 17, to 455 in 2025.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to correct that the 445 number, no? The number, the benefit expense number which we had approved by the board is 271. No.
271.
271. So, ma'am, Mr. Chair, Kong Stella, so you have like 117 or 118 2 years ago. This year, we're targeting to be around 155, 160. And then next year will be 271. Now, I think that's doable because we've already factored in all of this benefit expansion and benefit increases, including the 8%. So that's the number po.
So 271.
Just to correct po, sorry po.
So
hindi-
271,
yes.
not 455.
Not 455, not 440.
And you will see the details because you will submit.
Yes po.
And this reflects all of the benefit expansions that we had discussed previously. Tama
Yes.
po?
Yes po.
Okay. Sige, next question. Sorry, babalik ako doon sa excess funds. Doon sa COA report, 2023 report, meron tayong erroneous data entry for 15.55% of enrolled beneficiaries. Ibig sabihin, duplicate enrollments for 15.55% of members. Meron din pong 266,665 enrolled senior citizen members na duplicate entries. Meron din pong inclusion of 4,062 deceased senior citizen members sa ating database. In other words, in previous years, na-overcharge po ang gobyerno. Di ba po? Kasi binabayaran po ng gobyerno ang mga premiums ng senior citizens, halimbawa. Pero kung nakita po ng COA na merong mga deceased seniors na po, pero binabayaran pa rin natin ang kanilang premiums, obviously, we are overpaying. So magkano po, do you know about this, President Ledesma?
Yes po. Yes, Mr. Chair.
So magkano po? Magkano po ang utang ng PhilHealth? Kasi po, do you agree with me na meron kayong utang sa national government? Kasi po, we overpaid you.
Mr. Chair, the accounting for that one, Mr. Chair, pag nadoble, it should be, tama po, kailangan natin siya i-reconcile with DBM and treat siya as deferred credits, meaning na pumasok as income, pero dahil sa nadoble, i-transfer natin siya sa liability. Deferred credits is under sa liability account. So, pwede natin siya maibalik sa national government. So, ito po ay hintayin lang natin ng reconciliation po, and then with the receivable of PhilHealth to DBM, and then this payable po dahil sa nadoble, ma-reconcile po naman natin po to.
So, aware kayo na may ganong overpayment.
Yes, Mr. Chair, Kong Stella.
So, pwede ninyong isubmit sa amin kung magkano po ang, in a way, rebates. Tama po? Kasi we overpaid. So,
Yes.
yan po ang hihingin po namin
Yes po.
na report.
Yes po.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we shall submit po to this
Okay
committee.
po. Ano
Yun yun.
ang collection efficiency natin? Is it, masasabi ba natin na 100%? Kasi mandatory ang PhilHealth sa contribution sa salaried workers. Tama po? Mandatory naman yan, di ba?
Mandatory, Mr. Chair, pero wala
Yes,
namang
so is it
pang-data sa collection
100% po ba ang collection efficiency natin?
Mr. Chair, Kong Stella, for a while, check natin sa core plan. But I don't think that we can hit that 100%, Mr. Chair.
Why not?
Mr. Chair, Kong Stella, of course, may mga employers pa na, of course, may mga delay sa pagbayad. Pero again, let's check the record from the core plan, Mr.
Tama
Chair.
po ba na ito ang collection efficiency ninyo? Sa private sector, ang nag-remit ay 85%. Sa government, 91%. Sa self-employed, 32%. Sa OFWs, only 7%. Tama po ba na ito ang inyong collection efficiency? Ito po ay as of October 2024.
Mr. Chair, we're trying to check on the data. Can we provide it na lang to follow, ma'am?
But more or less, you agree with me that you are not collecting from many individuals that you need to collect from.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
have you computed the foregone premium contributions? How much premiums are you losing as a result of less than optimal collection effort? Because I did back of the envelope estimates on the basis of these numbers, you're foregoing 65 to 100 billion pesos. So ganun po kalaki ang nawawala natin pera, siguro dahil anyway, nakahiga kayo sa sobrang daming pera at ini-invest ninyo sa safe instruments na dating lang ng dating ang income, kinalimutan nyo na po kumolekta sa mga mandated sectors. At ang ginagawa nyo na lang po is pinapressure ninyo ang Congress na mag-appropriate sa inyo by, for example, in the past, lagi ninyong sinasabi every time you come to Congress na mamamatay na ang pondo ng PhilHealth. That was a common na litanya po yan, Mr. Chair. So, last point na lang po, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, pwede pong
With the indulgence of Congresswoman Estela, Chair would like to recognize Congressman Romy Acop.
yung po bang hindi nyo nasisingil considered as receivables ninyo? Tama?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Oh. In 2022, your accumulated receivables from your direct contributors, from the NGAs, LGUs, accrued interest received from investment at saka other receivables, 61.2 billion. That was in 2022. Now, in 2023, it increased to 105.67 billion. Yun po ang status ng kanilang receivables as of 2023. Kaya lumalaki yung hindi nila nasisingil.
Mr. Chair, I think iba pa nga yun eh. Yung hindi ninyo nakokolektahan na registered members, are they booked as receivables? Or are they booked as receivables? Because if yes, yun yung sinasabi ni Kong Acop. But if not, iba pa yon. Tama ba, Mr. Limsiaco?
Mr. Chair, our receivables as reflected in the FS are also estimates na makokolektahan natin. Of course, yung mga hindi natin expected na makolekta, hindi siya papasok. And kasama po dyan sa ating receivable pati ay from national government, kaya malaki ang figure po niya.
So, ang sinasabi ninyo, Mr. Chair, na yung receivables from national government ay pasok doon sa sinasabi ni Kong Acop. Tama?
Mr. Chair, as reflected in our FS, kasama po siya as part of the receivable po.
Pero yung sinasabi ko na hindi ninyo kinokolekta, halimbawa sa mga, let's say, workers na dapat magbayad dahil mandated sila under the law, hindi yun kasama sa receivables.
Mr. Chair, Kong Stella, may portion na kasama because ito yung mga employers talaga na makikita natin na hindi nag-miss lang ng contribution. And then employers talaga na hindi pa natin na-reach out ng ating mga tao, hindi pa yung makakasama as part of the receivable, Mr. Chair.
So, Mr. Chair, can we request PhilHealth to submit to us a report on collection and paki-separate yung dalawang category na yan at i-estimate ninyo kung magkano ang losses as a result of these two categories.
Yes,
and,
Ms.
Yes. And as a final question, Mr. Chair. kanina
Sorry,
po-
ma'am. Yes, we will comply and submit a separate report, ma'am, on that.
As a final note, Mr. Chair, kanina po, klaro naman po na ang dami-daming pondo ng PhilHealth. 709 billion ang aking estimate, more or less. Ang dami po talaga. At kitang-kita naman natin, even based on current practice na nade-delay ng bonggang-bongga ang pagbayad, ang pag-remit ng national government doon po sa premium subsidies, kayang-kaya talaga itawid ng PhilHealth ang sitwasyon ngayon or for next year na 2025 na zero subsidy para sa ating 4P, seniors, PWDs, etc. So, pero kanina, pinag-usapan natin, kung hindi kayo or nag-expand kayo ng benefits, pero marami pa rin talagang excess funds. So, pero tayong scope to reduce contributions. Sinabi ko sa inyo, lagi ko tong sinasabi. Nananawagan talaga ako matagal na. At sinabi po ninyo, hindi ninyo matandaan na nireject ninyo ang aking call. Ito po, you wrote to me officially noong September 13, 2023, stating your reasons for why you reject that proposal. So ito po, I'll just read the first sentence. After taking into consideration the nature of social health insurance and the existing provisions of the PhilHealth laws and the Universal Healthcare Act, it is of considered opinion that the proposed suspension of PhilHealth premium payment would not be in accordance with Section 10 of the UHC Act, prescribing premium rates for years 2019 to 2025. The suspension would also adversely affect the implementation of the NHIP, etc. So you assailed it for its legality. I can send you a copy of the letter that you yourself sent to me just to remind you that you rejected this proposal. So, pero ang sinasabi ko, Mr. Chair, kailangan balikan itong proposal dahil ang dami talaga ang pondo. Kasi kahit po sabihin natin na may zero subsidy situation, kaya pa talaga na hindi siguro kumolekta sa salaried workers kasi 140 billion lang naman po ang kinokolekta sa salaried workers. Kung 709 ang excess funds, gusto kong tanong yan as a final question kay Dr. Albert Domingo from DOH. Sa tingin nyo ba, kung sabihin natin, okay, ano kaya magiging epekto kung magkaroon muna ng moratorium? Total may mga panawagan according to Kong Wilbert na hintayin muna natin, bakit yung mga ibang naghuhulog? Bakit hindi naman sila bigyan ng free pass? Hanggat makita natin na talagang ang PhilHealth ay sincero sa kanilang efforts na pagandahin ang kanilang benefit expansion, etc. Anyway, alam natin, with 700 billion in funds, kayang-kaya talaga nilang to at the very least support one-year operations. I'd like to hear from Dr. Domingo. Anyway, may sinasabi siya, at any point in time, kung talagang kailangan or ma-prove ng PhilHealth ang kanilang kakayahan, pwede naman kung hindi supplementary budget, pwede naman natin sabihin na you can now begin collecting premiums.
Mr. Chair.
Dr. Domingo, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, Honorable Kimbo. Sa tingin po namin, yun kasing nakalagay sa Section 11, kapag sumobra nga yung reserba, and I quote, the excess of the PhilHealth Reserve Fund shall be used to increase the program's benefits and to decrease the amount of members' contributions. Hindi po sinabing contribution rate. Yung nakalagay po sa Section 10 na agree po kami sa management na hindi pwedeng galawin kasi lehislatura lamang ang pwede magbago is yung contribution rate. Ang nakalagay po sa Section 10, and I quote, for direct contributors, premium rates shall be in accordance with the following. So inaantay lang po alinsunod sa batas na attached agency ang PhilHealth kung ipropose po ng management sa board yung mekanismo para yung bayad, hindi yung rate, yung bayad o diskwento ay mapatupad. Aantayin po namin yung proposal na yun kasi sila po yung may hawak kung ilan yung membership, ano yung magiging collection or mga diskwento na gagawin. Salamat po, Mr. Chair.
Pero moratorium ang sinasabi natin, so hindi naman rates, kung hindi yung mismong, why not perhaps suspend collecting at the current rates? Yun ang tanong natin. Do you think that might work in the current situation na napakaraming funds and in a situation na gusto nating pilitin ang PhilHealth to actually do a better job? Or baka naman, ano ba, susukuan na ba natin ang PhilHealth? Ano ba? Or sasabihin ba natin na kailangan ba talagang baguhin ang paraan ng pag-implement ng programa? Anong naiisip ng DOH dito?
Salamat po, Mr. Chair, Honorable Kimbo. Yun po yung sinasabi nga namin na in public at sasabihin na rin po namin sa body na ito na panahon na para magpakita ang gilas yung PhilHealth. Kasi kailangan makumbinse ang ating legislatura na ano man yung paraan, kung subsidiya man or dagdag na budget, kasi meron pa yung PCSO tulad nung napag-usapan kanina. Ito na yung paraan para mapakita na yung sa English absorptive capacity, sa Tagalog yung kakayahang gumastos, na hindi lang basta inanunsyo na may dagdag. Salamat po kay Honorable Lino na pinunto niya nga niya, puro anunsyo, pero hindi bumababa. Kasi yung anunsyo hanggang sa board yun eh. Hindi naman kami yung magpipirma ng cheque para lumabas yung pera. So yung paraan para ma-print yung cheque at lahat ng kailangan mangyari para lumabas yun at mapirmahan at lumipat na dun sa mga ospital, yun po yung kailangan magpakitang gilas na, lalo na sa darating na taon na ito.
So magkano po ang corporate budget for 2024?
For 2025, Your Honor.
Both 2024 and 2025.
Both. Okay. Okay. I'll start, Mr. Chair, Your Honor, Kong Stella, with the COB for 2025. For benefit expense, 271.
No. Yes, total.
Total is 284.94, Kong Stella, Your Honor.
284.94?
Yes po. 284094 po.
Okay. And then for 2024,
258,962 million. In millions, billion, sorry.
so right now, pwede nyo nang ma-estimate ang COB for 2026, tama?
Yes po.
Ano ang estimate niyo for 2026? Because Mr. Chair, based on the law, the corporate budget is a percentage of direct and indirect premium contributions. So, ito pong zero subsidy, kaya po yata nagpapanik siguro ang PhilHealth ay because ang maapektuhan po ay ang kanilang corporate budget. Yun po, palagay ko. Tama ba ako, Mr. Dimshaco, na iyan ang malaking concern ninyo? Tama po?
Mr. Chair, isa sa mga malaking concern po, particularly that we are discussing, of course, the reorganization.
Yes, and that's the reason for why I asked you kung magkano ang direct contributions ninyo at kung ano ang collection inefficiency ninyo. Okay, so sige po, magkano ang estimated corporate budget ninyo in 2026?
Mr. Chair, Kong
So
Stella.
is it 5% of direct plus indirect? Or 7.5? 7.5% of direct plus indirect. But since indirect this year, 2025 is going to be zero, it's going to be 7.5% of direct. Tama po?
Tama, Mr. Chair.
So magkano po ang estimated ninyo for 2026?
For the admin,
Yes,
Mr.
what
Chair.
is 7.5% times your estimated direct contributions in 2025?
Ah.
Kasi
The-
yun ang magbibigay sa inyo ng 2026 corporate budget.
Mr. Chair, the estimated revenue for year 2025 from direct is 203 billion.
So
So
times
7.5% of that one, more or less 15 billion po.
15
Billion.
billion. Magkano ang corporate budget ng 2025?
2025, Mr. Chair, amounting to, for the admin expenses po, ay nasa 12.5 billion po.
12.5 billion.
Opo.
So you still expect an increase in your corporate budget despite the zero subsidy in 2025? Tama po?
Mr. Chair, tama po, because of the impending reorganization of the corporation, Mr. Chair, Honorable Kimbo.
Hindi. Ulitin natin Di ba ang pag-compute ng corporate budget is simply 7.5% times direct plus indirect contributions. Tama? Of the previous year. Nagkataon na ang 2025 indirect contributions ay zero. Tama? So, bakit tumaas po for 2026?
Mr. Chair, Kong Honorable Kimbo, tumaas because again, this 12.5 is the COB requirement of PhilHealth in 2025 prior to the reorganization. And the limit,
hindi
the
ba,
limit po,
hindi naman nakabase po sa bilang ng tao, di ba? Nakabase po siya sa direct and indirect contributions
tama po.
of the previous year. So
Tama po.
halimbawa po sa 2025, ano po ang direct and indirect contributions ng 2024? Sige, paki-compute na lang po and then take 7.5%. Kasi gusto ko pong malaman yung pagliit ng corporate budget in 2026. Yun po ang gusto natin makita.
Hindi nga siya dahil sa 9 na lang. Hindi, 192. Ito yung 2023? 2024? Mr. Chair, Honorable Kimbo, for the direct is 192.
Para sa anong taon to?
This is the limit for 2025.
For 2025,
Limit.
192.
192 ang direct po natin. That is for estimated for year 2024. Tama, 2024.
Okay. And then indirect is
And
zero.
ang indirect po ay 9 billion.
May 9 billion?
May actual collection tayo this year.
Oh, so kasama yung 9.
Apo.
Alright. So 192 plus 9. Yun yung
201.
2 times 7.5.
Apo, 15
Yun yung-
billion.
Yun yung 15 billion.
Apo.
Okay. Yung 2024, ano yung basis for 2024? Yung 2023 direct, tama?
Mr. Chair, Honorable Kimbo, the basis is 203 na
Direct?
and indirect.
And then yung indirect,
Total na yan.
indirect is
Ang direct
60. 60?
The actual, Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, Honorable Kimbo, the actual collection premium in the year 2023, 147 for direct, indirect of 50, that's 197.8 billion,
Yan ang actual na collection for indirect?
50 billion.
50.
Opo. So multiplied by 7.5.
So 253. 147 plus 50?
40
bakit kayo nagkaroon ng 147 na collection?
sa direct po.
Okay. So 147 for direct and then 50 for indirect. So
Apo.
197
Times
times
7.5.
7.5.
14.775, Mr. Chair, Honorable Kimbo.
Okay. So for 2026, ang direct, ano ang estimated direct contributions for 2025?
Is direct contribution estimated, Mr. Chair, Honorable Kimbo, 203 billion po.
203.
Opo,
And then ang indirect, 0.
0 po.
Okay, so 203,
15.
So
15 to
it's-
5.
15 to 5. So halos hindi magbabago.
Yes po.
So ang sinasabi ninyo na kung kayo ay mag-increase sa manpower, ito ang magiging challenge ninyo.
Yes po, Mr. Chair,
So
Honorable Kimbo.
ang kailangan ninyong gawin therefore is to increase your collection efficiency sa direct contributors. Tama?
Opo.
And that's the reason for why pinapasubmit namin sa inyo yung report, yung assessment ng inyong collection efforts para malaman ninyo kung saan dapat kayo mag-increase ng effort ko, anong particular sector. Tama po? Is that the correct? Tama, di ba?
Tama po.
Okay, so aasahan na lang namin ang pag-submit ng report na to.
Tama po.
Okay. Ang next is just a quick comment. Kanina pa po kayo paulit-ulit na nagsasabi na rest assured we will increase our case rates uniformly by 50%, X%, etc. And I've also been making a counter statement in the past that I firmly believe that uniform increases will not work. They do work for inflation adjustment purposes, but for purposes of really providing meaningful financial risk protection, particularly for the most important illnesses, you really need to look at these case rates case by case. Ibig sabihin, meron tayong mga sakit na talagang napakababa talaga ng case rates. At yon baka mamaya 1,000% ang increase na kailangan mo para dyan. So, mabibitin ka talaga sa 50% increase. Halimbawa po yung dialysis. Nagpapasalamat po kami sa inyo na malaking increase. But that was an increase from, I believe, 2,000 pesos. And it is now over 6,000 pesos. So that is a threefold increase. Hindi po ba? So 300% increase. So this is an example of hindi talaga uubra ang simpleng 30% or 50%. So yun ang aking hiling muli sa inyo na on top of uniform increases to address inflation, kung pwede po ninyong tignan ang, let's say, top 10 diseases or top 20 diseases, kung pwede po ninyong tignan case by case at baka naman pwede pa ninyong bonggahan ang pagtaas ng case rates kasi bitin po ang 50% increase para dito.
Mr. Chair. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Kong Stella, yes. In fact, I wanted to highlight two things. The first is, ma'am, this 30%, this 50%, I know you've mentioned this, it makes perfect sense. So I just want to add 50%, 30% plus rationalization. Rationalization afterwards. Also, we're also constantly looking at the top 20 cases in terms of morbidity and mortality. Because again, we hear you loud and clear, ma'am. That's more important because talagang mas may efficiency yan eh. So, anyway, duly noted, ma'am. Yes.
Alright, salamat. And in closing, Mr. Chair, parang mahirap yata tanggapin, pasensya na po, Mr. Ledesma, na yung sinasabi po ninyo that we will do our best. Mahirap kasing tanggapin po yung we will do our best dahil yung ating current situation na napakarami po nating pera, napunta tayo sa sitwasyon na to because, unfortunately, PhilHealth did not do its best. Tama po?
Noted, Mr. Chair.
You did not do your best. Therefore, you ended up having so much cash. Ibig sabihin, hindi tayo nakapag-expand ng benefits in an optimal manner. Hindi tayo nakapagbayad ng ospital in a quick way. Bagal tayo sa pag-introduce ng reforms. Yun ang mga dahilan, di ba? Tinitipid natin ang benefits, yung nga sinasabi ko, inflation adjustments lamang, rationalization, nahuli. Yun ang mga, we did not do our best despite the money being there. And in the end, ano nangyari? Kumita pa po kayo. Di ba po? So by not doing your best, you ended up being an investment bank. Yun ang nakakalungkot. Kaya sana po, at this point in time, baka naman pwedeng ma-recalibrate at sana po there is greater assurance that because you have so much cash in your hands, there is no excuse but to fulfill your mandate of providing financial risk protection to every single Filipino. So yun lang po, Mr. Chair. Maraming salamat.
Duly
Thank you.
noted, Mr. Chair. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Kong Stella.
Yes, within the
Umani naman ito ng iba't ibang reaksyon mula sa ating mga netizens. Ayon kay Winnie Sison, unconstitutional ang pag-zero budget ng PhilHealth. Pahayag naman ni Celso Sendo, kasalanan pa ni Ledesma, siya nga ang nagsiwalat na may basbas ni BBM ang pagkuha ng 90 billion sa PhilHealth, bakit siya sinisisi nyo, Pangulo ang may kasalanan dyan. At ito naman ang saloobin mula sa ating kababayan na si Cura Potes, hindi pa rin sapat na dahilan yun na zero budget ang PhilHealth dahil nasa saligang batas na may subsidy ang PhilHealth. Mga kababayan, feel free to comment below para maglabas ng saloobin sa balitang ito.